we take the last session on Microsoft Word. This session will teach us how to create a table of content as well as how to print our documents. Long documents can be overwhelming for both the writer and the reader. This section teaches how to create a table of contents for your long Word documents, helping both you and your readers to navigate your work. A table of contents is just like the list of chapters at the beginning of a book. It lists each section in the document and the page number where that section begins. Using headings to designate sections of your document. Before we go ahead to create our table of contents, we have to identify clearly the sections or segments of the book as to whether they are designated as chapters, units, sessions, and so on and so forth. So we have to break our documents into those sub-chapters using the section break. You remember very well our lesson on section break. If you have forgotten, I would advise that you go back to that lesson on formatting, page formatting, and revise. You can also break sections into subsections. So for instance, we can have a chapter and then we may have, let's say, units within the chapter. If you have not given headings to the headings and subsections, you have to do so. Okay, so let us first take the first 3 points by putting them into practice. This is our document. So let us break this document into, let's say, chapters. So let me create space up here. And then type, let's say, chapter 1. Chapter 1. Press enter. Introduction to Microsoft Word. Let me center them. Okay. Let me go about 3 pages down or 4. Okay, I think this point is okay. And then I'll insert page break here. Section page break. Okay. So I'll click the page layout, then click click breaks, and then click next page. Let me press enter. Type chapter 2. Press enter, type editing MS Word documents. Okay, let's go further down. by using the page down. Insert page break here. Remember, it is always section break, not the usual page break. Alright, so let me press enter. Chapter 3, formatting, MS Word documents. Center them as well. Okay, let me go further down. Create a page break here. Chapter 5. Let's say adding tables to MS Word documents. Alright, so let us assume we have 5 chapters. Let me create other sections up there. Okay, I've just added blank page up here. Or better still, let me create a page break. Alright, so let me have let's say acknowledgements on this page. Insert some text here. Okay, so let's say this is my acknowledgement. Let me insert another text here as let's say the preface. We are just creating a document. Okay, this time let me add normal page break. So preface. Let me also add some text. Okay. Okay, so our document is done. Now we have broken our document into sections. Okay, we don't have subsections, we just have the chapter headings, that's all. Alright. Okay, now the next step is to apply the heading styles to the section headings and subsections, that is if we had subsections. Note this, the heading styles are organized in order of hierarchy with different formats. So we have heading 1, heading 2, up to heading 6. Okay, now choose only one heading style to apply to the section headings and another to subsections. So what this tells you is that if, let's say, you apply heading 1 style to, let's say, chapter 1, you need to apply the same heading style to the rest of the chapter headings. So chapter 2, chapter 3, and so on and so forth. If, let's say, you apply heading 3 to the subsection or subunit in one section or in one block or segment, you need to apply the same heading style to the rest within the document. Okay, so let's assume this is a heading. What we do is we select, or you can click the heading or word or chapter heading, and then you click whichever heading style that you prefer. So for me, I'm choosing heading 1, but let me modify this one a bit so it appears as centered. Okay, and then maybe let me change the font a bit. Okay, let me apply the same heading to the rest. Okay, so I'm scrolling through and then applying this same heading. Okay, then for this, let me apply heading 2. So this is heading 2. Let me modify that heading. You have learned how to do so. If you have forgotten, kindly go back and revise. Okay, so let me apply this also centered, and for the color, let me choose black. Probably underline would be okay. Alright, so there we have it. I'm scrolling down. I'll apply heading 1 to this and heading 2 to that. Heading 1 and heading 2. Heading 1, heading 2 to this. Page down. I think we have only 5 chapters. Yeah. So we have applied the headings now. Let us insert the page numbers. Let me see if there's a place for that. Yeah, let us insert the page numbers first. So you go to insert, and then we choose page numbers, choose bottom. I'll choose, let me go to format page numbers, and then let us apply the Roman numerals. Okay, and click OK. Oh, it's not inserted. Let me insert it first. Alright, so there we have it. We have our page numbers inserted now. So let's scroll down. Alright, for the preface, let us also leave it at that. But when we come to this section, we want the numbering to start from 1 again. since these pages are preliminary pages, now we come to the main part of the document. So let us apply the actual numbers starting from 1 from this section. Alright. So we click insert, then we go to page numbers, then you click the format page number for the page number format dialog box to appear. Then let us keep at this style and then start at 1. Okay, now you can click. Okay, so you are starting at 1 now. Okay, so 1 start from here, then 1 you are here, you are on the Roman numerals to the 3rd page on that page. Now when we go down, you notice that the page numbers follow. So you see it. If you have forgotten, go back and revise. Let us insert some headers. Okay, so we have let's apply each section should have its own header. So let's say we type acknowledgement, let us write a line, italize, let's italize this. Okay, double click this. Let's go to this. Let's type another heading here, preface. This thing is problem. This one not active. There's a problem with my system. If each section is supposed to have its own heading. Okay, this section is part of, yeah, so let me leave it at that. Preface, and we are within the same section, so acknowledgement and preface, acknowledgement and preface. Let's go down to chapter 1 and we come to the second section here. Then let us break this. Okay, so we have deactivated. We want this section 2 to have its own heading. So what is this thing here? We want chapter 2, no, it's chapter 1, sorry, chapter 1, introduction to MS Word. Okay, so we click anyway. So you notice that the header in section 1 is different from the header in section 2. If we have not applied the section breaks, this wouldn't have happened. As I said, if you have forgotten these things, go back to the page formats and revise. Let's go to chapter 2. Okay, so we are in chapter 2 now. Let us apply its own heading. So here we will deactivate this one as well. Link to previous, no, we don't want it, so we click it. Then let's type a header here for also chapter 2 editing MS Word. We are using the chapter headings as the headers. MS Word document. Okay, so let's go up. You see this section heading is limited to that section alone, or that segment alone. Chapter 2 also have its own headings. Let's go down to chapter 3 and do same here. Let it have its own chapter heading, chapter header. Okay, so we are inserting a chapter header here. Again, we delink and then we type the information we want there. So chapter 3 is formatting MS Word document. Okay, then you double click your document, you go up, which you see it. So each section will have its own header information. Okay, let me go down. So this is supposed to be chapter 4. Let me apply. Again, you delink this. So click link to previous so that it will not be connected to the previous section. So that this section too will have its own header. So chapter 4. For adding tables to MS Word documents. Okay, alright, so we have our headers, and then our footer is down here, and we have applied the styles. Now, how do we add table of content to our document that we just created? Let us look at the procedure as given to us here. This is not the procedure. Place your cursor where you want your table of content to be. We are being given the procedures, yes. That is creating table of content. The procedure is given to us here. So let me repeat again. Place the cursor where you want your table of content to be. Step 2, on the references tab in the table of contents group, click the arrow next to the table of contents icon. 3, on the drop down gallery, click the preferred table of contents tab. Let us demonstrate this. Let's say I want to insert a table of content above this page. Therefore, let me insert a new page here, a new break. Okay, or maybe a page is okay, so blank page. Alright, then let me type table of content here. Alright, so I want to insert the table of content on this page. The procedure is given to us as that we click the reference tab. After clicking the reference tab, you click the table of this arrow on this button, that is the table of contents button, and then you see various table of content options, at least about 3 of them. So whichever one that you prefer, you click it. So let's assume I like this one, therefore I'll click it. The moment I click it, the table of content is inserted in the document for me. So here we have our table of content. So chapter 3 begins on page 10. Chapter 4 begins on page 30. If you don't like this style, we can also choose a different one. So come back to the table of content, click the arrow on it. If you prefer this, you click it. Alright, so we have another style of table of content. Alright. So you notice the heading 1 is at close to the edges of the margin, and then there's some space left in between the chapter titles. Okay. Alright. So that is how we insert table of contents. As simple as that. But before you insert, you need to apply the styles to the headings. You have to insert the page numbers as well. It's not compulsory that you have headers and footers, but at least the page numbers must be available. But if you don't want any of these 3 table of content styles, and you want to create your own table of contents, you have the option to do so. Let us look at how we can customize the table of contents. The steps are given to us as follows. Step 1. Place your cursor where you want your table of contents to be. 2. On the References tab in the Table of Contents group, click the arrow next to the Table of Contents icon. Sorry, but it's supposed to be command button. 3. Select Custom Table of Contents. 4. If you want to change the style of your table of contents, that is, if you want more space between the items on level 1 and level 2 of your table of contents, or you want all your level 1 items to be bold, click the Modify button. Select the table of content level you want to change, then click the Modify button to do so. If you want to change which headings appear in your table of contents, you can do so by changing the number in the Show Levels pull-down menu. Then click OK to insert your table of contents. This is supposed to be 5 and 6. Sorry for that. Now let us move on. So let us assume that we are creating our own styles, okay? Let's say we don't want this table of content. So let us delete it. Okay. Let us create our own styles and apply. Okay, so let's say IT1. Let us modify. Font, we choose this. Size, we choose, let's say 14. Color, let us leave it at black. Let us center it. Okay, let's apply a bit more spacing. Then click OK. Let's create another style. We are creating 2. So IT2. If you have forgotten how to create your own styles, go back and revise. IT2. Let me modify. Okay, let me apply this. Make this 12. Closer. Color is okay. Okay, now let me apply that style to our heading. So IT1 is applied to the main headers, the main chapter headers, if I may say so. I can say headers if you prefer. So I'm applying this to the IT1 to the chapter headings, and then IT2 to the title of the chapter. Page down, page down, page down, page down. Alright. IT1, IT2. Applying IT1, then IT2, and finally we have IT1, IT2. Okay, we have applied our own headers now. Now let us create or customize our table of content. Again, we go to references, then we click this arrow, and then we click custom table of contents. Okay, Now, we have different formats for the table of contents that we can choose. Now, if you want to pick a different format than what was presented to us, you click this chevron here in the general group. Okay, if you click one of them, you see that how the table of contents will be like is displayed in the print preview section on this dialog box. Let's choose a different one. You see it. So you scroll, you can explore all of them and then choose the one that you prefer. So let's assume I prefer this one. But over here you notice that it uses the headings that was created in the system for us to by the developers. But we want it to use our own heading styles that we created. So what you do is you have to click options, and once you choose options, the table of contents options dialog box appears. Now this one, we have heading 1, heading 2 and heading 3. So the first level will be heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, but I don't want it to. Don't want those headings, so we clear them. We clear the number from it, clear this number from it, clear that number from it, which means that it will not be using these headers to create the table of contents. Rather, we want it to use our own headers. So now we are at IT1. It should be the first level 1, and then the second level should be IT2. When you are done designating the levels, you click OK. And then finally, when you are done, you can also choose a different leading lines if you want this, but I will always prefer this dotted lines. When you are done, you click the OK button. Once you click OK button, there you have it. You have customized your table of contents. You notice it is different from the ones that were given to us by the these default styles. Alright. Let's say you have made some changes in your document. You've added more content such that the number of pages increases. Let's say chapter 2, chapter 1, more pages are added, that it extends beyond 5 pages to, let's say, 7 pages. Okay, but in the table of content, it has it that chapter 2 is supposed to start from page 7. But in the new information, but because of the new information that you've added, the chapter 1 is extending beyond 7 pages. So when the person goes to page 6, it will not find chapter 2 there. It will find a continuation of chapter 1. So when you have made modifications in terms of content and formatting in your document, okay, what you need to do is to update your table of content so that each chapter will be clearly identified on the particular page that it begins from. Now, how do we update a table of content? It's simple. You just right click the table of content and then you click update field. Once you click update field, then you let it remain at update page numbers only. Then you click OK. The table of content will be updated. If you, let's say you added additional chapters, let's say chapter 5 and 6. Let me add new chapters here. So chapter 5. Let's say using graphics. Then let me create another chapter here. Chapter 6. So adding table of content. Okay, let me apply the styles. As we know, is I'm applying IT1 to this and IT2 to this. Let me add some text here. Okay. I'm going up. Applying IT1 and then IT2. So you notice that now we have new chapters. In that situation, it means we cannot just update just the page numbers only, but we need to update the entire table of content. So how do we go about that? You just right click your table of content and then you click update fields, and then on this dialog you choose update entire table and then you click OK. So now you notice that the new chapters that you added have now been included on the table of content. Okay, so that is how we add table of content to our document. Now let us come to the last part of our document and of our lesson in Microsoft Word, and that is how we print a document. Printing here simply refers to copying the contents of pages in the document onto papers through the printer. A printer must be connected to the computer before a document can be printed. To print a document, do the following. 1. Click the File tab. 2. Click Print on the File tab. 3. Click the printer button at the printer section and select the preferred printer. 4. Select the page range you want to print. That is, you can choose all if you want to print all pages in the document. You can choose current page if you want to print the page currently displayed on screen. You can choose pages if you want to print particular pages in the document. If the pages are following each other, let's say you want to print specific pages within your document, let's say from page 4 to page 10. Once they are following one one another, you separate, you just type the first page, page number of the first page you want to print, and then the page number, or the you type the number of the page, the last page you want to print. Okay, that is the first page you want to print is page 4 through to page 10. So we separate page 4 and page 10 with a hyphen. However, if the pages are not following one another, but you want to print them, let's say you want to print page 1, 5, 9, and 14, you have to type all the pages you want to print, their page, the numbers assigned them. Okay, and then you separate them by commas. Please, we are not talking about the page numbers that you inserted. Here we are looking at the numbers that will be assigned. Okay, I will show you. We will go to Microsoft Word and I will show you. Then from step 4, you go to step 5. Select the copies to be printed in the number of copies list box. And then when you are done, you click the print button. Let me show you. So now we have this document. You notice that here we have I, and so on. Then we have 1, 2, 3. But that is for what will be displayed when the document is printed out. But irrespective of the page numbering that we have done within the document, each page has its own particular number as indicated on the status bar. So this is page 1. If you scroll down to this page, you are on page 13 here. But when you scroll down, you see what is the page number here? Page 9. Okay. This number is only for printed purposes, when you print and you want to read. But within the document itself, for the program, the number it uses to identify this page is page 13. That is what I want you to take note of. Therefore, if you want to print this document, we are told to click the File tab and then click Print. Once we click Print, we have to click this arrow here, and then we will choose the printer that we want. That is, if you have a number of printers installed for your computer. But if it's just one, then you just leave it at that. We are offline, that is why you don't see it displayed. Alright, now this is where you have to choose whether you want to print the entire document or you want to print specific pages. So you click this. Here, this print all is selected. If you want to just print the current page, you choose the current page. Okay, and then you go ahead and print. But if, let's say, you want to print let's say page 5 to page 15 alone, if they are following one another, you type 5, then you put hyphen here, and then you type 15. And then when you are done, you click the print button to print your document. If they are not following one another as you learned, you clear this. Let's say page 1, we're printing page 1, and then page 5, and then page 9, then page 10, or page, let's say 13. If you want to print just those pages alone, then you select, you type them and separate them by commas, and then when you are done, you click print. If, let's say, you want to print more than one document, let's say you want to print 2 copies of the document, then you have to click this arrow up here to increase the number of copies. So the more you click, if let's say you want 3 or 4 or 5, you just have to click till you get to the number of copies you want. Then when you are done, before you click the print button. If your printer has the ability to print front and back, you can click the print one-sided. So if you want to print front and back, you choose print on both sides. That is, if your document is arranged in the portrait form. But if your document is arranged in landscape and you want to print front and back, then you have to choose print on both sides, choosing this one, print pages on what? On short edge. So you have to select those ones before you have to click print. But if your printer cannot print front and back, you don't need to come here. You just enter or select what you want to print, and then you type the number of copies. You have to define the printer you want to use in printing, and then you just click the print button. Once you click print, your document will be printed for you. Alright, we have come to the end of our lessons on Microsoft Word. I hope you will be practicing, get well acquainted before you join me for the next block of lessons, which will be on Microsoft Excel. Have a great day.